Robert Setzer is an American guitarist, singer and songwriter. He first found widespread success in the early 1980s with the 1950s-style rockabilly revival group Stray Cats, and revitalized his career in the late 1990s with his swing revival band, the Brian Setzer Orchestra. Biography. Career. Setzer was born in Massapequa, New York. Beginning in January 1979, he fronted the rockabilly band the Tomcats before transforming them into the later successful Stray Cats. After performing locally from New York to Philadelphia under various band names with no real success, singer and lead guitarist Setzer, drummer Slim Jim Phantom and bassist Lee Rocker decided in June 1980 to go to London, England, where they believed people would better appreciate their sound and style. To obtain the money for their plane tickets, Setzer, Rocker and Phantom went to Sam Ash Music on 48th Street to sell their instruments and gear to the store, for enough money for 3 one-way plane tickets. Upon their arrival, they decided to call themselves Stray Cats, a name suggested by Rocker because of their status as strays. After performing for only a few months, they drew the attention of the British record producer Dave Edmunds, and released a series of successful singles in the UK, which countered the already entrenched punk scene in London. After releasing several singles and 2 albums in England, the Stray Cats finally caught America's attention with the 1982 album Build for Speed, which included the 2 top 10 hits, Rock This Town, and Stray Cat Strut. This album was basically a re-release of many of the songs from the 2 previous albums, the self-titled Stray Cats and Gonna Ball, which have never been released in America. Their follow-up 1983 album Rant and Rave with the Stray Cats included the 2 successful singles, She's, Sexy Plus 17, and I Won't Stand in Your Way. After only 4 years, the Stray Cats separated in 1984, but reunited briefly to record albums and mount tours several times all the way through the early 1990s. From 1985 to early 1986, Setzer was the lead guitarist for the touring version of Robert Plant's ensemble band, the Oneida Drippers. In the summer of 1986, Setzer released his first solo album, The Knife Feels Like Justice, which marked a huge move away from his trademark sound and towards a more mainstream rock root sound, which was popularized at the time by such other artists such as John Cougar Mellencamp and Bruce Springsteen. The album was given little promotion by his label, and as a result it only found minor success, peaking at only number 45 on the Billboard US album charts. The album has become a cult favorite among those who understood the message Setzer was trying to attempt, such as the world's nuclear proliferation, the immigration issue, the understanding of religion and the working man's blues, such as unemployment, loneliness, etc. In 1988 his second solo album Live Nude Guitars was a cross between his first solo venture and Stray Cats recordings and once again became a cult favorite included on many critics' top 10 lists for the year. In 1987, Setzer played the part of Eddie Cochran in the biographical film On the Life of Ritchie Valens, La Bamba. In the mid-1990s Setzer once again resurrected an older form of youth-oriented music, swing and jump blues music, when he formed the Brian Setzer Orchestra, an ambitious 17-piece ensemble project, which released 4 studio albums, a Christmas disc and several live releases between 1994 and 2002. His group's biggest success came in 1998 with the release of the album The Dirty Boogie, which cracked the top 10 on the US album charts and featured a hit single, a cover of Louis Prima's Jump, Jive and Wail. Setzer continued to release solo-build albums sporadically, including a solo live disc Rockin' by Myself in 1998. In 2001 he released an album titled Ignition with his new trio billed as the 68 Comeback Special. In 2003 he released Nitro Burnin' Funny Daddy. A tribute album titled Rockabilly Riot Volume 1, a tribute to Sun Records, was released on July 26, 2005, in the United States. An album simply titled 13 was released in October 2006. On September 25, 2007, the Brian Setzer Orchestra released Wolfgang's Big Night Out, which features Setzer's take on classical pieces, such as Beethoven's Symphony No. 5, and Fa 1/4 Elise. Wolfgang earned Setzer his 8th Grammy nomination, this time for Best Classical Crossover Album of the Year. On October 13, 2009, the Brian Setzer Orchestra released a new album titled Songs from Lonely Avenue. For the first time in Setzer's career, he was the sole writer on every song. Frank Comstock, the 87-year-old big band arranger whom Setzer collaborated with on Wolfgang's Big Night Out, orchestrated most of the horn parts for the album. On December 14, 2009, Setzer was unable to complete a performance in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and was briefly hospitalized because of dehydration, high-altitude sickness and vertigo. After Colorado Springs, Albuquerque has the second highest elevation of any American city of more than 100,000 people, and many visitors experience oxygen debt and require ER treatment. Recent activity. In 2011, Setzer toured extensively throughout Europe. The premiere night of the Brian Setzer Rockabilly Riot Europe Tour 2011 was at the 10-year celebration of the Atzquina Rock Festival on the June 25, Vitoria-Gasteiz, Spain, to crowds of over 50,000 people. The tour then went on to dates in Zurich, Switzerland, Luxembourg City, Luxembourg, Wart and Amsterdam in the Netherlands, Berlin, Hamburg and Cologne in Germany, and Peer in Belgium. The Scandinavia leg of the tour was in Copenhagen, Denmark, Stockholm, Sweden and Helsinki, Finland, ending at the Helsinki Ice Hall. Further gigs were held at the Brixton Academy, London and in Dublin, Ireland. The tour is planned to continue into Japan in September 2011. The Brian Setzer Rockabilly Riot Tour featured a special set with Slim Jim Phantom, and was supported on the major shows by the cult Swedish punk rock band The Knockouts in Germany, Denmark, Sweden and Finland. Setzer also produced Drake Bell's 2014 album, the Rockabilly-inspired Ready Steady Go, under Surfdog Records, which was released on April 22. He also played guitar on two of the songs, I Won't Stand in Your Way, and Bitchcraft. Honors. Setzer was awarded the Orville H. Gibson Lifetime Achievement Award at the 1999 Gibson Awards. As of 1999, the previous recipients of this award were B.B. King, Emmylou Harris, Vince Gill and John Fogerty. Since 2000, Setzer has earned 3 Grammy Awards, Best Pop Performance Duo Group for Jump Jive and Wail, and 2 Best Pop Instrumental Performance Awards for Sleepwalk and Caravan. In December 2006 he received his 7th Grammy nomination for his version of My Favorite Things, again in the Best Pop Instrumental Performance category. Personal life. Setzer has been married 3 times, most recently in 2005 to Julie Wrighton, a former singer with the Dust Bunnies. Setzer and Wrighton reside in Minneapolis. Discography. Bloodless Pharaohs. Marty Thor Presents Tour, 5, Brian Setzer and the Bloodless Pharaohs. Brian Setzer and the Tomcats. A series of live recordings were issued in 1997 by Collectibles Records, and removed from sale within a year under threat of legal action. Rock This Town, High School Confidential, Stray Cat Strut, Rip It Up, All Shook Up, Shake Rattle and Roll, Rockabilly Boogie. Stray Cats. Stray Cats, Gonna Ball, built for Speed No. 2 US, Rant and Rave with the Stray Cats No. 14 US, Rock Therapy No. 122 US, Blast Off No. 111 US, Let's Go Faster. The Best of the Stray Cats, Rock This Town, Choo Choo Hot Fish, Original Cool, Rumble and Brixton. The Brian Setzer Orchestra. The Brian Setzer Orchestra No. 158 US, Guitar Slinger, The Dirty Boogie No. 9 US, Bavoom. No. 62 US, Jumpin' East of Java, Best of the Big Band, Boogie Woogie Christmas, The Ultimate Collection, Dig That Crazy Christmas, Wolfgang's Big Night Out, The Best of Collection, Christmas Rocks. Ultimate Christmas Collection, Songs from Lonely Avenue, Don't Mess with a Big Band, Christmas Comes Alive. Solo material. The Knife Feels Like Justice No. 45 US, Live Nude Guitars No. 140 US, Rockin' by Myself, Nitro Burnin' Funny Daddy, Rockabilly Riot Volume 1, a tribute to Sun Records, 30 No. 2 Jap, Red Hot and Live, Setzer Goes Instrumental. Rockabilly Riot. All Original. 68 Comeback Special Ignition No. 152 US. Filmography, La Bamba, Mother Goose Rockin' Rhyme, The Great White Hype, as himself, performing a rousing rendition of Danny Boy, The Nanny The Bobby Fleckman Story, as himself, The Country Bears, along with the 68 Comeback Special, The Simpsons, How I Spent My Summer Vacation. Live DVDs, Brian Setzer Orchestra Live in Japan, Rumble in Brixton, Brian Setzer Orchestra Live, Christmas Extravaganza, One Rockin' Night, Live in Montreal Jazz Festival. Other works and appearances, performed the guitar solo on the Twisted Sister song Be True to Your Skill in 1986. Played guitar on the song I Can't Be Satisfied in the Paul Rodgers album Muddy Water Blues, a tribute to Muddy Waters, 1993. Played guitar on Gary Hoey's Bug Alley, played guitar on the song Crime Don't Pay in the Mike Ness album Cheating at Solitaire. Composed and performed the theme song for the Disney cartoon show House of Mouse. Appeared in a Bud Light commercial where his rehearsal session was interrupted by an elderly woman who could play rock and roll guitar. Setzer also performed on Tomoyasu Hotee's album Soul Sessions, on the tracks Back Streets of Tokyo and Take a Chance on Love. Appeared with the Brian Setzer Orchestra on an episode of The Nanny The Bobby Fleckman Story. Setzer spoofed himself in a 2002 episode of popular animated series The Simpsons. He voiced himself as a tutor at a fictional rock and roll fantasy camp attended by Homer Simpson, and said, "I hope you won't judge the entire Brian Setzer Orchestra based on my actions." Appeared in the Country Bears movie doing a music duel with one of the Bears. Executively produced Drake Bell's Ready Steady Go album and played electric guitar on I Won't Stand in Your Way, and Bitchcraft. Musical equipment, Brian Setzer has a very large guitar collection spanning many decades and brands. Setzer favors vintage equipment and hollow body guitars, and currently endorses Gretsch guitars. References. External links, official Brian Setzer website, official Stray Cats website, Brian Setzer at the Internet Movie Database.